Hello, my friend, Doc Martin here. What is the truth about motivation? Well, currently there are two popular views about what motivation is. On the one hand, there's a group of writers and YouTube posters who say that motivation is the be-all and end-all. It is the key to action. There's lots of books on Amazon, like the Motivation Manifesto, Self-Motivation Strategies, The Motivation Code, my little black book of workout motivation, and Master Your Motivation. Some people think motivation is the only basis for taking action. Motivating is the way to get yourself to take action and improve your life. Few people question it. It's standard procedure. Motivation websites abound when people visit them and try and get their motivational fix. I'll admit that getting motivation is a better strategy than nothing, but nothing isn't hard to beat. The second view on motivation is that motivation is a myth. There's actually a book by that name, The Motivation Myth by Jeff Hayden. He says motivation only kicks in after you start doing something. Motivation is not the spark for action, but the result of action. And there are YouTube sites that have titles like, Why Motivation Doesn't Work, Why Motivation is Garbage, Screw Motivation, What You Need is Discipline. Well, as on a lot of things, the truth lies somewhere in between. Motivation is needed. But to rely on motivation has some very serious problems. So let's start first by talking about what motivation is. The classic textbook definition of motivation is a driving force through which people strive to achieve their goals and fulfill a need or hold a value. I like the simpler one is that motivation is wanting. Motivation is desiring some change in yourself or in the environment. There are two different phenomena that are referred to as motivation. So motivation first is a broad dispositional tendency, a basic desire, a drive. There seems to be about 8 basic evolutionary motivational systems that have been identified. One is the defense system. It includes fear and anger. The second is the attachment system. It's the need for proximity, a need for safe haven and a secure base. Then there's the exploration system. Curiosity, interest, Pansett calls it the seeking system. And number 4 is the caregiving system. Warm, soft, nurturing. The sociability system is behaviors directed towards the community or the tribe. The play system includes rough and tumble play. The sexuality system, pair bonding and human reproduction. And the energy regulation system modulates eating, drinking, sleeping, body temperature, and taking in oxygen. So it's important to note that our values and our basic motivations are inextricably intertwined. That is why step 1 in the habit formation process, find your why, that is, clarify your values, is so important. Our basic core motivations are the assertion of our deeply held values. And motives are the reason for initiating and maintaining the behavior. And what is the second definition of motivation? Well, before I get into that, if you like what I've talked about so far, don't forget to hit the like button and then subscribe to this channel, please. Thank you. A second definition of motivation is a specific desire to perform a particular behavior on a particular occasion. It's an impulse. For example, people may have a basic desire for sex which on a specific occasion takes the form of a targeted impulse to engage in a particular sexual activity. The second definition of motivation is concerned with immediate desires, impulses that are triggered by circumstances that gain some sort of satisfaction. The second definition of motivation is concerned with immediate desires, impulses that are triggered by circumstances that gain some sort of satisfaction. So, motivation is an important reason for taking action, and this goes back to our values about healthy habits. Motivation does not cause us to act, but can increase the probability of an action. But to posit motivation as the main reason or sole cause for taking action is fraught with difficulties because motivation has several weaknesses. First of all, motivation is unreliable. It comes in waves. Sometimes it's there and sometimes it's not. It may fluctuate from day to day. Motivation comes in waves and fluctuates because it's based on how you feel. And we've known for centuries that human feelings are fluid and unpredictable. Many things can alter your feelings in an event. Your blood sugar levels, depression, hormones, health, external stimuli, energy levels, your beliefs. In other words, anything can alter your feelings. You really want to place your hopes on something that is so unpredictable, so volatile? Well, the number one rule of any foundation, it must be built on something solid. And motivation is like building a house on sand. Another problem with motivation, it sets us up for failure through the law of decreasing enthusiasm. This isn't really a law, but it sounds good. The law of decreasing enthusiasm. Let's say you get motivated to work out for 1 hour every day, and say you do this for 3 weeks straight. At this point, you're likely to have a very weak habit beginning to form. But since you're relying on motivation, this crucial transition period will likely mean the end of your progress. That's why we see so many people in the new year who join gyms, and after 2, 3 weeks, a month, 2 months, it's down the tubes. Well then, how does motivation fit into getting something done? And how can I strengthen my motivation to start a new healthy habit? Well, that's the topic for our next episode of my YouTube Online Healthy Lifestyle Learning Academy. 4 ways to boost your motivation. But until then, the question of the day is, when and where did your motivation fail you when you were trying to do something to live a healthier lifestyle? Think about it. And then ask yourself, was it because I lost enthusiasm to do it? Was it because I was unmotivated one day and then stopped completely? What was the reason or reasons for you? Well, that's it for today's episode. I hope you found the information useful and informative. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. And turn on that little bell next to subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. Thanks for watching. And until we meet again, just keep on trucking.